so what happened in that game? His first game up, he gets called up. Sorry, I don't remember the details. I was watching reloops with quick pitch really late. But anyway, it's his first, just got called up, first major league start, goes 7 innings, no hitter. Coach pulls him because they worried about pitch count, right? Craziest thing I've ever seen. I flash back to Nolan Ryan. I can't imagine Nolan Ryan carrying a no-hitter through 7 and coach going, hey, you're done. He'd have been, no, coach, you're done. I'm finished. And anyway, they're up 1-0 when he comes out of the game. And the first hitter in the 8th inning hits a home run and ties it. So you didn't get a win. 9th inning, they lose 2-1. So dude goes out, throws a no-hitter, shoves for 7 innings, and then loses. Or he didn't get the loss, but he didn't get his first win. But anyway, that's not relevant to what I want to talk about. I'm sorry. That's just a little baseball trivia. Man, I was at Vistage yesterday, and I had the privilege to hear this guy speak. He was a colonel in the Army, and unbelievable story. Did 12 tours. Just had incredible. He's on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, master's degree in military operations and stuff. Just brilliant mind guy. But he talked yesterday just about how to win in the midst of chaos. And he talked about, he's told stories that were unbelievable. But he has a podcast, and it's on like 3 or 4 different platforms. And I just want to encourage y'all to go listen to what the guy has to say. Like, I could have listened to him for 2 days straight. He did a 4-hour presentation in the morning yesterday, and it felt like 45 minutes. It was that engaging. The material was that good. So his name's Jimmy Blackman, and with an O, M-O-N. So please go check that guy out if you're looking for things to grow and learn. Whether you're here in the room or you're watching the video, do yourself a favor, at least go check it out and see if it resonates with you like it did with me. I know it'd be different on a podcast and live, but it was amazing. One of the things, though, that I want to talk about in regard to spring training is really close to my heart because it matters how we all come together and perform. And so one of the things that, I looked at, we got picture day today, right? So at spring training, they have picture day. And picture day happens after they've made the decision about the 40-man roster. And so whether you're in Florida or whether you're in Arizona, doesn't matter. They do the same process. You make the team, and they let you know, hey, we're offering you a contract. You're on the roster. You're on the 40-man list. There's about 60 people, 65 people at spring training. So that's about, it's a bad day for 20 or 25 people. It's a great day for 40 people. And what I want to say in regard to that is they're getting ready to take their team picture, and there's 40 people, the whole coaching staff, and they're in uniform. And there's a moment where it says Rangers on it, or Dodgers, or Mets, or whoever it is. They all put the same uniform on. They line up. Just, you've been on a team before. Tall guys in the back, rest of us in the front. But the reality is they made the team. They got a uniform, right? And they put that uniform on. And for the guys who are rookies, that's a pretty cool moment, right? But one of the reasons that they do spring training, besides just kind of giving you all the fundamentals and revisiting all the skill sets necessary to do really good, because when they go to spring training, they're going to prepare to win the World Series. Every team is on level ground in spring training. They all got a shot. And not one clubhouse is going, man, we want to finish second to last in our division, right? Yankees are in last place, by the way, in the East right now. Last place. So that's been a long time. I don't know in my lifetime if I can remember that. But the reality is, they all have a chance. But what has to happen when you got 40 people, you just handed them a uniform, and you gave them, the news that they're on the team? What is one of the things besides talent that determines whether or not a team's going to be good? Because I'll be honest, I coached some Little League teams that weren't that good, but we won. I coached some Little League teams that were unbelievably loaded with talent, and we were mediocre. What was the difference? Attitude, determination, yes.
Teamwork.
What'd you say? Working together, teamwork. You ever been a part of a team that maybe wasn't the best, but they had chemistry, and everybody kind of was on the same page? Everybody was pushing in the same direction. Everybody was caring about each other, man. They pick you up, right? I can go to a ballpark right now. You can just smell it. You can see it. You can watch it. But you watch the teams where the guys in the room, the guys on the bench, they step up for each other, right? And I heard this guy yesterday speak at Vistage, and I already knew this. I was talking about teamwork, and I was talking about team chemistry, but one of the most powerful things that you and I can do is ever be a part of a team that has team unity. Because what it does is it inspires everybody else. And one of the essential things for healthy functioning teams is accountability. Let me just ask you a question. If you have a teammate that holds you accountable, but you don't have a good relationship, nor do you respect that person, how is that received?
Bad.
If I don't like you and you offer me accountability, how's that going to go over? I'm number one, I'm probably not going to listen to what you tell me. Number two, I'm going to be slightly irritated because we don't have a good relationship. And I'm not blaming or saying anything, but if I got a guy, and just say it's Sean Ladd and I have a great relationship, right? And Sean walks up to me one day and goes, hey dude, whatever. He gives me feedback that I don't like, but because of the relationship, what am I going to do? Because I trust Sean, what am I going to do? I'm going to listen. I'm going to go, if he goes, dude, you look sloppy today. You need to clean your game up, right? What am I going to say? You know? You're right. I do. You need to look better. You need to do this different. Hey, I saw a picture of the job you did. That was terrible. What does that take to get to that point? Trust, right? So one of the key components of teamwork is trust. Another one's accountability. If those two things work hand in hand, and what I want to say to you, when those 40 guys put on the uniform and they leave spring training, they show up at their home ballpark for opening day, half-price hot dogs, full crowd, everybody's there, and their mission is to go win the World Series, you start seeing teams make magical runs and do things nobody expected them to do, right? Happens every year. The Marlins are in first place. How much money would you have lost on that so far? I think there's 3 baseball fans in here, but anyway, it's like betting on the limping dog in the dog race, all right? They got the lowest budget in the league. It's not something that you would go, man, I'm going to win on that. And everybody looks at you, don't bet on that dog, right? So what I'm trying to say is the powerful thing is that there's trust. And let me talk about a few things, because he talked about that when you're in war. Everything's heightened, right? And it's fascinating to hear the stories about just being pinned down in the dark of the night in the valley in Afghanistan. There's trust, right? You got to trust each other, because what's the result if you don't? You die. And so there's a lot at stake. Sometimes it's not important for people to be a part of a great team. Guess what? If people hear talk about teamwork and commitment and trust and accountability, and they walk out of the room and they go, man, I don't really care about this stuff, they should not be on the team. That's the reality. And what I want to say to you guys is, I'm not telling people, man, you ought to quit your job or you ought to go somewhere and work somewhere else, but I kind of am if you aren't open to the idea of being your best. Right? Because what happens with a team of 40 when there's 36 guys that are committed and there's 4 guys that are disruptors? Now I'll tell you, on a baseball team without rules and regulations and the doors closed, those 4 guys are either going to get on the bus or they're gone. Because they're going to hold them accountable in a way that probably is not legal. But they're going to pressure them to do the right thing. I read a statistic the other day, and it talked about the most effective, listen to this, don't miss this, the most effective accountability that actually causes change comes from your peers. I was like, that's pretty good. It's the team, if they're 12 years old, and everybody's hustling, everybody's busting their rear at practice, and you got the one kid that just doesn't care. It's not always effective if the coach points it out and the coach yells at him, but I'm going to tell you what, when 4 of his buddies go over there and they go, dude, you need to pick it up. What happens to that kid's behavior? He's more likely to pick it up because his peers are calling him out. That's the power of teamwork, team unity, is that you start holding each other accountable to the standard, and all of a sudden, it's not this big, well, management says, and management says, this is our standard, says. And when your standard's high, and if everybody in the room wants to win, you really become something special. And I could talk all day about this topic because it's really important. And one of the biggest distractions to teamwork is to be selfish. And I think sometimes that's the deal. I hear this buzzword, well, they don't bring in revenue. Well, then you want to answer your own phone? You want to do billing yourself? You want to go meet with lawyers about insurance and health coverage? You want to go deal with banks? Anybody want to do deposits today? Can I bring you back in so you can go over to the bank and deposit the money we made yesterday? No. You want to get on a phone call with the Better Business Bureau this afternoon? No. Why does that matter? You want to call homeowners all day? Some of you quit. And that's all you did all day. And some of you, every call you made, if you wore JJ's blue shirt today and every homeowner you called was pissed off, you'd be like, dude, I want to just go jump off a cliff. Right? But he does it every day in, day out. Calls people that are upset and says, what do we do to make this right? And then we coordinate with vendors and we go, we got to take care of these people. And that's the mission. And when that's worked out right, man, it's good, right? Because we're focused on the same thing. And if our mission was, hey, regardless of what position you play, you may pitch every 4th day, you might be the 3rd string catcher, you might be the all-star 3rd baseman. But when you realize and come together and recognize that you have one common goal, and this is to go win the World Series, and you guys come together as a company and go, we want to provide elite service. Regardless of what anybody else says, we want to provide service that is incredible. And we all come together behind that, and we don't worry about, look, my own economy. You need to understand your economy affects my economy. My economy affects your economy. When you make a mistake, and you make us look bad, it affects everybody when a customer goes on to Yelp and gives us a 1-star review. Or they go on to Google and say, don't use Baker Brothers. Because of the behavior of one teammate. Because you didn't do the right thing. I'm not telling you mistakes don't happen. They do all the time. But I'm talking about not caring. You want to be a part of a good team, everybody in the room cares. Doesn't matter what your role is. And I'll be frank, I'm kind of tired of hearing the deal, well, they don't bring in revenue. Go sit in their seat. You bring in revenue because all the support systems let you do it. You got a truck and you got a uniform, you got materials, you got a phone you can call in for help, you can get help on the go. I'm glad to support y'all. I love you guys. I want you to win. I want y'all's economy to win. But when you cut somebody off or flip somebody off in traffic, it affects everybody. It affects everybody. So don't forget that you're part of a team. One guy on a baseball team can be a cancer. It ain't no different in this locker room than it is that locker room. So listen, you got somebody talking crap by the water heaters and by the water cooler and out in the vans and they dog the very company that pays you every Friday, you ought to speak up. That's what brings people together. Last time I checked, we all get paid on Fridays, don't we? Sometimes it's even early, on Thursday. Sometimes I'm just blessed I have a job. I got an opportunity to take care of my family because I work with you guys. So let's come together. Let's be unified. What's our goal? What's our BHAG? Be the best service company in the world. All right? So people that walk around going, oh, we can't do that in this place and that place. Dude, you need to go, hey, we get paid on Fridays, don't forget. Your gas card works 99% of the time. All right. Hey, let's come together. It's imperfect, but let's be a great team. Go kill it. See ya.